Almost every D-Day film has misled you about June 6, 1944. Not harmless exaggerations, enormous, casualty-boosting, physics-breaking myths that would have gotten real troops killed in moments. For 8 decades, Hollywood has looped the same Normandy legends. Millions now imagine that is how the largest amphibious landing in history unfolded. Let us dismantle the myths. Myth number 5. Soldiers dashed up the beaches in heroic sprints. On screen, you see Tom Hanks and his men racing up Omaha Beach, weaving through fire like track stars. Fantasy. When the ramps dropped, the real movement was a crawl, for hours. Veterans said they moved slower than a toddler learning to crawl. The stretch from the surf to the seawall on Omaha was roughly 300 to 400 yards. Most men took 3 to 4 hours to cover it. That is about 100 yards per hour, the pace of a 90-year-old with a bad hip. Assaults happened belly down. Troops shoved their gear ahead through wet sand that weighed roughly 15 pounds per cubic foot when saturated. One ranger put it plainly. We inched forward on our stomachs like worms. Standing up meant instant death. Progress was counted in feet per hour, not yards per minute. Many veterans swore the only men who ran on D-Day were the ones already dead, knocked backward by impacts. Myth number 4. Machine guns did the bulk of the killing. Movies adore the MG-42. Hitler's buzzsaw, mowing down entire waves. Here is the reality. Mortars caused about 60% of D-Day casualties. Not machine guns, not rifles. Mortars. The German 8-centimeter Granatwerfer 34 arced shells at roughly 70 degrees, dropping them behind any cover. As one American put it, the machine guns pinned us, but the mortars did the killing. A competent mortar crew could throw 20 rounds per minute into zones the size of tennis courts. German defenders had pre-registered the beaches to the square meter and divided them into numbered boxes. An observer spotted Americans in Box 7. Mortars landed on pre-computed coordinates immediately. No careful aiming needed. A captured officer said it coldly. "We did not need to see you. We knew where you had to go." Mathematics, not marksmanship. But mathematics does not sell popcorn. Myth number 3. Clear orders and smooth communication guided the assault. In films, officers bark instructions and men execute the plan. Truth on the day? Near total chaos. Radio nets collapsed within 10 minutes. Salt water ruined roughly 83% of radios in the first wave. Units drifted miles from assigned sectors. The 116th Infantry Regiment admitted, "We did not know where we were for 2 hours." Companies scattered and intermingled like shuffled cards. Meanwhile, orders were drowned out by naval gunfire that reached about 140 decibels, louder than jet engines. Smoke reduced visibility to roughly 10 feet. One lieutenant wrote, "I commanded whoever I could see. They were not my men. I did not know their names. We fired at muzzle flashes and hoped." Even the legendary Rangers lead the way at Pointe du Hoc began with a mistake. They hit the wrong cliff first, climbed for 45 minutes, then realized the error. Myth number 2. Naval bombardment crushed the defenses. Hollywood loves sweeping shots of fortifications being obliterated before the first landing craft arrives. The truth was a gut punch. Naval bombardment achieved around 3% effectiveness at Omaha Beach. 3%. Allied bombers dropped roughly 13,000 bombs, and none landed on the intended beach targets at Omaha. They overshot by up to 3 miles, killing French livestock rather than German gunners. The USS Texas fired roughly 600 14-inch shells. After-action analysis confirmed about 10 German positions actually destroyed by naval gunfire. Bunkers there had walls about 8 feet thick, engineered to survive 1,000-pound shells. Allied planners understood that and went in anyway. A German machine gunner later said, "Your barrage was impressive fireworks. We waited inside, played cards, then went back to our guns when it ended." The concrete? Barely scuffed. For Americans who expected shattered defenses, the psychological blow was severe. Myth number 1. Lone wolf heroism carried the day. Hollywood's favorite tale. A brave officer takes out a nest. Rangers defy cliffs. The harsher truth is arithmetic. Mass carried the beaches. Allied planners estimated they would need roughly 2,500 casualties just to secure a foothold at Omaha. Not acceptable. Required. So they sent about 34,000 men so that roughly 31,500 would still be alive to push inland. General Omar Bradley summed it up. "We will win by saturation, not finesse." By midday, weight of numbers smothered German strongpoints that simply ran out of ammunition. One MG-42 position reported firing roughly 12,000 rounds before being overrun. Not beaten by clever tactics, beaten by empty ammo cans while Americans kept coming. A German officer wrote, "We killed them, and they still came, not because they were brave, but because there were so many." The truth is not cinematic. D-Day was slow, numerical, methodical. Men crawled through heavy sand, died to unseen mortars, and advanced because planners accepted roughly 10% losses as the price of breaking in. Most heroes were unrecognized men who never knew they had been hit. Victory flowed from logistics and industrial power more than individual valor. That does not make for glossy trailers, so the myths persist. But the real story, of arithmetic sacrifice, of chaos managed by grit, of industrial warfare unleashed, is far more sobering. It just does not explode as nicely on screen.